Yeah. Okay, the Gentry Podcast. I know that you will be loving it. We here to break it down so that you start to understand your local government. Who are the leaders? Time to get active, do something about it. Dealing with jobs, the workforce, and affordable housing. Motivate and inspire. Elevate, take it higher. For the next generation. Knowledge is power for your community. Giving you the info that you really need. Time to make a change and a difference. Tune in, don't miss it. It's the Gentry. The Jentry Podcast. The Jentry Podcast. Making a change, switching it up.
Hello, and welcome to the Jentry Podcast. Today, we have an incredible guest. I'm your host, Jonathan Mason, but more importantly, we have Dea Theodore, who is the chair of Salt Lake County Council in Utah. But she's more than that. She believes in environmental stewardship, mental health, and public safety. But she also is a mother of two teens who loves running and skiing. Dee, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
Of course. The pleasure is all mine. And as I like to do, I want to jump right on into it. So what makes Salt Lake City or Salt Lake County the best place to live in the United States? What's the special sauce of Salt Lake County?
Yeah, you bet. I think our people, that's the biggest thing here. We are a great county. We have wonderful people that live here, caring people and people who are driven. They work hard. They play hard. We have beautiful mountains here that people come from all over the world to enjoy. This world-class skiing, greatest snow on earth. So we have a lot going on here. We bring in awesome conventions every year. We have great activities that are going on. And we have, through our state, some of the best national parks in the world. So like I said, people come here from all over the world just for the state and the things that we have and the features that we have. So that's definitely part of it. But the people, I think, are what really make a difference when people do come here. I think there's a stereotype sometimes when I'm outside of Salt Lake County or outside of Utah that we do have a big Mormon culture here and that we're different, maybe, and maybe we are, but we're super nice. We're very caring. And it's such a caring state. I can't even express it enough. But I think people expect, but here's the thing. Here's the cool part is we are fun. And so a lot of people think, well, oh, you don't drink or something, but we have fun. We know how to have fun here in Utah. So I don't like being stereotyped because when I go places, I'm going to have fun there too. And I think that surprises people because they're like, wait, what are you doing? And they ask me a lot of questions about religion, and I get that a lot, and I'm happy to explain it anytime. So no shame there. I love it. I love our culture. I love the dominance of the religion here, and I love the people. And our state, I can't imagine living anyplace else. Every time I go visit other states, there's a couple that I really do like a lot, but there's just no place like Utah. It's very unique.
I love that. And it's funny. Before I jumped on the podcast, I was looking. I'm almost close to 10 interviews from people from Utah. The next closest is Georgia. So I love Utah. I need to come and check it out. I know there's beautiful parks. I have not yet. I need to.
We're going to get you here. Okay.
I love it. I'm excited, but I can definitely attest. All the people I've met have just been nice and truly believe in the strength of the Utah people and that pioneering spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm super excited to learn more. Before we get into Salt Lake County, let's get into your background. Now, growing up, what was childhood like? Did you always know you wanted to serve in public service?
No, I didn't actually. I had no clue. I grew up as an only child, so I spent a lot of time on my own, very independent, looking for things to do. And I grew up in Oklahoma in a small town, and I had interest in becoming a veterinarian. But I realized as I got older that really wasn't what I wanted to do, even though I have a definite love for animals, and that's still part of my life. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do from there as I got older, but I realized I needed to get my degree. I got my degree in biology, and I knew I could do something with it. However, politics was not what I expected. But I realized there's been a lot of things that I've dealt with at the county where I've looped back in to my degree, and I've been able to utilize it in ways that I never thought possible. So just having my degree in general has given me a lot of education and knowledge that I might not have had I got a different degree, to understand some of the issues that we're dealing with. And just one thing, for instance, is the Great Salt Lake. We have a shrinking Great Salt Lake. Well, I have this biology background, and so I've learned about this things that we can do in the ecosystem to help. And so, I mean, recently I just passed a proclamation to help our wetland. I was out there on a tour, and I know we're getting off topic from what you originally asked, and I can touch back on this, but I think also it has to do with caring. Let me just say that it has to do with having a heart to care about your community, and I do. But then also, I'm seeing things changing because with growing communities, environments change and neighborhoods change. So things change. So we have to be mindful of that. And I was recently at the Great Salt Lake taking a tour of the wetlands area. And I had been on the same tour 4 years previous. And I'm looking around, I'm like, things are looking different out here. There is a lot more development, and I'm seeing some concerns. And it's not that I'm anti development, but I think for that area where we are putting a lot of effort, the state is watching this very closely. They're putting a lot of effort into it, a lot of money into it. And so we got to get it right, because that lake is very important to our state, our economy, and our ski industry, a lot of things. So for me, just seeing that wetlands area, I knew I had to take action. I'm like, I got to do something here. So it's a resolution. It's not legally binding, but it signals this is important. This is something that needs attention. And so that's why I passed it unanimously at the county council recently with my colleague, Natalie. So I think it just signals, and we're sending it to the governor, we're sending it to the legislature, so they understand that, and Salt Lake City, because they are actually over most of the zoning out there. So we want to just ensure that everybody is mindful and we're all on the same page when things do come up and there is development that might be coming in, that we watch that very closely, because we do want to protect that area and preserve it the best we can, because once it's gone, it's gone. So that's important to me. So yeah, so I came out to Utah when I was in college. Came out here mostly for college. I went to the University of Utah. I got my degree there, and I've enjoyed Utah. I got involved with, I raised my kids after that. So I was fortunate enough to stay home with my kids, raise them. And then when they started going to school, I'm like, I want to be with my kids some more. So I followed them to elementary. I started serving on the PTA board. I also started at the school community councils as well. So I started learning about budget, how they impact our communities, our schools, and we would fundraise for the school. We'd do some awesome fundraisers that made so much money for the school, and it would help the teachers buy supplies and provide great parties for kids. And so we had a great team, but I realized, I'm like, I think I want to do more here. And so I decided to run for my city council in Sandy, and it wasn't meant to be because I didn't win. And I truly believe that things, when the right thing comes along, it works. And the county position came up, I was encouraged to run for that. And so I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, let's do this, because I just knew that I wanted to do something that was meaningful in my community. And that's the biggest reason I got into this, because I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do next after, as my kids grow older and I start to come into working? What do I want to do that's going to give back to my community? And so county council, right on them. It's spot on for what I like doing. And so I really love my job. I love all the things that we do here in Salt Lake County. We provide some amazing services, and we are working on so many things. I can't even keep up some days, but there's just so much going on in our county. I mean, one day I'll be out on the Great Salt Lake. The next day I'm in a mental health homeless meeting. So there's I'm all over the place. But guess what? I love that dynamic, fast-paced, problem-solving environment. It just fuels me and it keeps me going. So the more work, the more busy I am, I'm on it. So, but that's what I like. And I really like serving my residents. I love getting to hear what they have to say and what their thoughts are in the community. And, we don't always align with everything that you have. 1.2 million people here in Salt Lake County. They're not always going to agree with me, and I respect that. I don't know of any elected official that I agree with 100%, but I still like them. I'd still vote for them. But, there's things we probably disagree on. Totally normal. So there's that. But I think that overall, we are doing a great job here in Salt Lake County. We have a very collaborative council right now, and we are keeping things very collaborative. I mean, in order to get stuff done, that's what it takes. It takes effective communication and collaboration. And I feel like I have brought that tone as chair this year. Hasn't always been that way. It's been a little tense in some years. And so I strived, I'm like, you know what? I've got to bring peace to this council. We've got to all work together. We've got to have a united front where we are working together for the betterment of our county and our residents of Salt Lake County. So that's what I strive to do. And I feel like I've done a good job this year.
That's it. That's
Hopefully that
incredible.
explains.
No, that explains so much. Starting from the utilization of your degree, I feel like I speak to a lot of students who are potentially interested in a career in public service. And they say, I may have a biology degree, a chemistry degree, a communications degree. And it's like, does that exactly fit? And I think you melded that correctly and very informatively. You never know when you're going to need to hearken back to that because you need to learn something about the environment. You need to implement a resolution about the environment. So your
Yeah.
degree, it matters, but it's not the determinant of what you're going to do. So I think that was a very, very impactful. And then another thing you touched on, which there must be something in the in Utah because State Senator Heidi Baldery said the same thing in different words. She said politics needs moms, and she had a similar pathway in which she had taking care of her kids and got on the PTA and now is in the state Senate. But one of the things she was saying, and I'm sure you can align with, is politics needs all different type of viewpoints. So moms, dads, carpenters, whatever it is, we need different viewpoints because that's what makes it special. And then that gets me to, I definitely want to ask a lot of questions around what is a council, excuse me, a county council. What does the chair do?
Yeah.
And then I love to hear some of the differences, maybe because it sounds like you ran for city, what the differences are between
Yeah.
city and counties.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. The city where I live is Sandy, and there's roughly 90 something thousand people, give or take, past the new census. So it's a good city and it's established. And I'm right at the mouth of the canyon. So I'm in a really gorgeous area. So I do represent the Cottonwood Canyons, which is the four ski resorts here in Salt Lake County. And so it's a big deal. And there's still a lot of things going on in my area as far as ski transportation, development. We're I think feel like Sandy's pretty much built out, and a lot of Salt Lake County is getting that way. So it's trying to find ways that we can be innovative with new housing as we move forward. And so the city actually deals more with that, the zoning type. Their planning commission will deal with zoning and then push it through the council from there. So they deal with their local issues. We deal, I would say, more regionally. So we do a lot across the whole county. So when you think rec centers, libraries, senior centers, and then we do have different performance venues downtown. We have them spread out too. There's one in Taylorsville. So they are out there as well. And a lot of those come from public private partnerships or donations from a donor, a local donor who says, hey, we're going to give you so much for this new art facility. And then we can match it in some way. We find money somehow and we match it. And then we have a new facility for our growing population in different areas because our county really has changed a lot since I moved here. It's just so many people. And so we want to make sure the equity in our county is established because you get, my area is more established. The west part, like Harriman and South Jordan and all those areas, which is on the west side of the freeway, basically, because we're kind of split. You take the I-15, you have the east side, you have the west side. I'd say most of the east side communities are just more settled before the west. The west, you can go out. We're trapped by the mountains, so there's no place to go. It's all built out. So, but out west, you can still go a little farther. And so they're taking up on that building out there and providing new amenities, new schools. And so we have to kind of keep up with that too and watch it and see what's going on. But yeah, I think for Salt Lake County, I mean, it's great because we do touch on so many things and we are the ones who collect property taxes. So we have to be mindful of that because nobody likes their property taxes increase. We have been so strategic in everything that we're providing here. And we really look at things. And I appreciate it. This doesn't take just one person or the council. This is our mayor. This is our budget team. This is all of our departments when we need to bring something in, but we know we have a tight budget. We work strategically to try and figure out a way that we can still provide whatever it is, but without raising tax dollars. So we are 100% mindful of that. And that is really the spirit here at Salt Lake County is keeping tax dollars low because we don't want to do that. Now, as we keep growing, we know that there might have to be an adjustment at some point because we've been hit with a lot of things like inflation and just a growing county. And people do love our services. They love what we do. And so, we want to provide the best benefit to our county, but for a low cost. So, but yeah, your city versus your county, it's just we have 9 different council members, so we have a very diverse council, which I think is great because our county is diverse. So it's true. So we have someone that represents downtown, kind of more of the downtown area, and then I'm out in the suburb, Sandy area, which is more suburbs, and we have some of our west and some of our south, and so it's everybody just brings their, I guess, their different tone and their different what's the word I'm looking for? We're just all different, and I love it. That's what I love about our council. And then your city, again, a little bit more just everybody within your community. It's a little smaller, so but it's great work that they're doing as well, just different work. So, and a lot of the work that we do here in Salt Lake County too does benefit our cities. So we're really lucky to have certain tax revenues. We have what's called the ZAP tax, which is Zoo Arts and Parks. So it helps fund our zoo, our arts facilities, and we do have an art facility in my area. It's called Health Center Theater. So they benefit from that revenue as well. Beautiful theater. They do great shows. And so we've been really lucky to have them there. And then the parks. So it funds the parks as well. So this is something that's a voter initiative. So it's voted on, I believe, every 10 years. It just passed this past year, like 70 something percent. So people are really invested in the programs, the arts, and the zoo and all the things, amenities here in Salt Lake County. So that's what I'm signaling by seeing that high percent voter turnout on that one and it passing at that higher rate. That means people really do like it. So in my opinion, so not everything is that likable, right? And so, but we do have tourism dollars that we get as well. So we have a tourism arm for Salt Lake County, and it's called Visit Salt Lake. They do amazing work. The stuff that they're doing, they bring in all of our conventions because we own our convention center here in Salt Lake County, which is in downtown, and it's going to be renovated in the next couple of years. And so we are looking to change that up a little bit, but they are the ones who drive our tourism by bringing in these conventions. The conventions are huge because you have people here booking hotels, going out to eat, and spending their hard-earned money here in our county. So we want to make sure they're getting a good experience when they come here. We don't want anyone leaving. I hated Utah. We want them to have a good time. We want them to really like our state because guess what? They're going to tell everybody how cool our state is, and they're going to bring their friends are going to come next time. And so it just booms our economy, keeps it going, keeps your property taxes, from us having to increase them because we're getting all that sales tax revenue, which is awesome. So, and then we can use some of that revenue that we do get from different taxing that we have established to spread out through the county. So, which is awesome. Like recently, over the summer, I went to a ribbon cutting for out in Bluffdale. We'd used sorry, making sure I get the right fund, but it's TRCC funding, which is tourism, recreation. That's an acronym. I can't remember all of it, but it goes towards these type of things, these type of facilities. So they had funding allocated for them so they could redo their rodeo arena. And so I got to go out there and check it out. Beautiful. Just a real huge benefit for their community. And then we recently had a theater reopening in Murray. It was an old iconic theater from years ago, and it's been redone over the years, but it needed another refresh. And so we just had a grand opening for that. And Lauren Allred, I don't know if you know who she is, but she was there and presented the night I was there, and she's the one from The Greatest Showman, and she has a beautiful voice, and it was so amazing to have her there. So we get to go and see what they do with that funding, and it's really fulfilling. It's really great to see the community come out and enjoy an amenity that's right there in their community, and that's going to benefit future generations. So yeah, so hopefully that explains that a little better.
For sure. And I'm hearing a lot of great things that Salt Lake County is doing. Now, one
Yeah.
question I do have is at the county level, do you guys have like a comprehensive plan, or do you have strategic priorities that you typically work off of right now?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I think the mayor she's our executive. So she's kind of the one who leads that. So she will bring in her priorities. Like she's going to be presenting her budget coming up in the next week or two. And so she will have some of the things that she's interested in doing as what she's been seeing in the community. But some of the things that we have been, and I think she's brought forward some really important items. One of those is the mental health. And I think there's council members that get involved in this as well, because a lot of times council members can bring their own initiatives, right? But the mayor does drive a lot of what we approve. And so as long as we're all on the same page and we're being educated of the need, then it usually gets approved. There's something that we just don't feel like is a need or it's too expensive or whatever. But I mean, she will do her homework on what she's looking to do and she educates her staff. And so one of those has been mental health. That's something we've invested heavily in. We do have public safety, which is a big deal. And we're planning on, we had a jail bond out there last election cycle to expand our jail and increase capacity, but the bond did not pass. It was almost 50-50, but it just failed by a little bit. But we know there's appetite because we just need to provide more beds in Salt Lake County now that we're growing. So we weren't able to do that, but we had planned on moving forward in that direction as well to provide more beds. The legislator kind of got ahead of us a step and pushed us, we need to do it quicker. So we ended up opening one of our older, it's still an active jail, but it's just one that we weren't planning to invest more funds in because we wanted to build off the big jail, which is our main jail. So there's two here in Salt Lake County, but they're just down the street. And so we ended up opening another pod to deal with an overcrowding issue. And so it worked out. It's fine. But ultimately, we will probably need to invest more into our public safety and a growing population in our jails as we go. So that's been another thing. And then we're always dealing with housing is always on everyone's mind. We hear about it in the news a lot. And for me, like, I think Salt Lake County not too long ago, well, it's a few years while I've been on the council, we had American Rescue Plan money. So we actually put quite a bit of funding into affordable housing. And it's not homes, but it's more of units that were affordable, like apartment type homes. And then we've done some things where we've invested in like senior type for veterans, seniors who don't have, they're getting taxed out of their home because they can't afford it. They cannot afford to live in their home at some point. They're on Social Security and things get pricey for them and they just can't afford it anymore. They get taxed out of their home and they need someplace to go. So they either go with relatives or, more of a senior type apartment. And so we've helped provide places like that here in Salt Lake County. And then those that need, that are in need of mental, that's been a big deal because I think that contributes a lot to our homeless population as well. People, have mental health issues, making sure they get the proper treatment, the proper landing spot. And a lot of them end up in our jails. So we're really trying to work on that and keep them out of our jails and find the proper treatment for them. And so that's been something that we've been working on as well. And we're always working with the state on things that they're doing. So, because a lot of it trickles down. So whatever they're doing, sometimes we're in line with doing. And I think we've had a lot of collaboration with our state partners, and especially when it comes to homelessness. And I don't think it's always been that way. I think it's been pushed on the counties, but now we have the state who is getting more involved. We have a great homeless coordinator at the state. And so he's been doing a really good job, but it's just a challenging issue. And so it does take a lot of research, a lot of the right people at the table and making things happen. So, but yeah, so those have been really some big things. I think economic growth is a big deal too. We look for opportunities for our residents. And one of the biggest things this past couple of years is our hockey. I don't know if you've heard of them. That's the Utah Mammoths. So they came in as Utah Hockey Club, but now they changed their name and it's been really fun to watch that. And that started at the state. And so there was kind of a taxing deal, and I don't know all the details of it exactly, but I know that we have our Salt Palace right by the facility where they play. And so we recently did kind of a landmark sale of some of our land because the goal is the person who is it's Smith Entertainment Group, and they're going to expand our downtown in that area and make an entertainment venue, I guess, entertainment district, which is going to be really cool once it's built. And so it's really reviving our downtown because it can always, your downtowns, you have to turn them over every so often and renew some things. And so this will be coming in and it's going to be really awesome. And so as we redo our Salt Palace, they're going to be forming the entertainment district. And so in the next few years before the Olympics, and we're going to see some really radical changes downtown, but they're going to be really good changes. But let me tell you, the excitement and bringing in this hockey team has been phenomenal. They've been great partners to work with, and it's just been really exciting. And I've never seen a sport where I've seen so many people. I had never been to a hockey game until they came, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe how many, the whole thing was filled, and it was a fun. Even if you're not a hockey fan, just showing up and going, I mean, you're going to have a good time. Now I'm a hockey fan. So providing those cool experiences here for our residents is where it's at. And, downtown is an entertainment district. When you want to go out and have a good time, a lot of times downtown is where it's at. So this is going to be great.
That is amazing. And you brought up one thing that I have to touch on. I feel like my
Yeah.
viewers would yell at me. So the Olympics is coming to town. So can you
Yeah.
just talk to me? Like, I don't know if you guys are involved in, but like, how do you bid for the Olympics? What does the Olympics mean for the
Yeah. So I
county?
think
And
I
then
don't know the exact process on that, but you can finish what you're saying there if you want. But
and then
how our involvement? Yeah.
what does like the preparation look like for something like that?
I think it's gonna be crazy, but I think it'll be awesome. I was younger and I was in school, so I couldn't afford to go to as many of the Olympic venues back then. So I missed out on some of them, but I did go to a couple, but not as many as I'd like to have gone to. So this time I'm gonna go. I hope I can afford it this time. So, but we have all the venue. I mean, that's just what's so great about it is we have all the venues. They're here. They might need some upgrades. They might need some touch ups. But I mean, that's it. I mean, we're not building anything new that I'm aware of yet. I mean, maybe, but I mean, everything's here. We can just slide right in, make it happen. But we want to make a great experience for these people that are coming in from all over the world. That's for sure. And so whatever we can do to do that. But yeah, there is a kind of a bid process, and I'm definitely not part of that. I know there's a bidding committee, and I think our governor and I believe our county mayor was involved a little bit, probably given her opinion and probably persuading, I would assume too, trying to make sure that we are in line to get those Olympics because I want them. I think they're great. I mean, who wouldn't love the Olympics in their city? So I mean, it's such a big economic boom for sure. So there is definitely a process. I'm not part of the process, but I followed it and I watched it. I was there when we got the announcement that we were going to host. I was downtown at like 4 a.m. because they were in Paris, France, announcing that who was going to get it, and so we were just partying downtown at 4 a.m. I was super tired, but it was fun. It was just fun to have that excitement and knowing that we're going to have the Olympics here. I can be more excited. So but yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scenes things that go on to really try and get those Olympic games here. So, and man, I applaud whoever did it because it's amazing. So, but
That's
yeah,
got
and as far as what our involvement, I don't know yet. That's a good question. I'm sure as we get closer, we'll know more of it, but I know we'll be involved for sure. We're here and we'll be part of it. So, yeah.
definitely. That is an incredible, and I'm super excited to follow
Yeah.
along.
So you should come then.
I
That'll be your
know, yeah,
opportunity.
that'll be my time. I think that would be perfect. Now,
Yeah.
I've heard some incredible things. I've heard new hockey stadiums. I've heard wetland mitigation resolutions. I've heard growth. I've heard expansion on the east side. I've heard Olympics, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask the tough question. So, but I will give you some support. So, if there is just one challenge that you could just snap your fingers and change, what would that challenge be? But you get unlimited budget, unlimited resources, unlimited people to work on it. What would that one challenge be?
Wow. That's a good question actually. And I thought about that and I couldn't come to a complete consensus, but I think just providing honestly a county where everyone can benefit in some way and everyone feels like this is their home and where we've created a county that's so welcoming and that's so vibrant and that has everything that I guess touches on all the cultures out there and that we just are a welcoming county. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing in some ways. So I feel like it's happening, we're doing it. And it's really interesting for me because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I live in Sandy, known for a little bit more upscale, I guess you'd say, neighborhood, and so I've been out in Sandy for a long time. So, but since I've been at the county, I've gotten out of that bubble a little bit, and I've explored the whole county. There's places I couldn't believe I hadn't been, and I'm like, this is really cool. We have some really cool places on the west side. I didn't even know. Like I just don't go out there that often, and so there's just different parts of the county, and there's so much diversity, and there's so many different cultures and so many groups that are out there. They have different festivals, and it's fun to go and check them out. I've went to Japantown, which is downtown, over the summer, and they provide some really cool entertainment and food, and just they like to show you their culture, which is really cool. I went to a Korean festival, so I'm always getting invited to all these events, and I try to go to all of them because I don't want to make anybody mad or offend, but it gives me an opportunity to connect with everybody and learn what's important to them and what they need from us, and just how we can have those relationships, because the relationships are what are crucial in this position. You've got to know your people, and you've got to be approachable where people feel like, hey, I can talk to her. I can give her what I'm thinking about. So, like I said, I think just creating a county that's welcoming. That's really my biggest goal. We don't want to, have a certain reputation for anything where it's like, oh, they don't like this or that. They welcome this or that. So it looks like a really fun place to go. I know we have weird liquor laws, and that kind of freaks people out sometimes, but I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, I've seen people out and they look as they're having a great time. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's I don't know. I think it helps keep our state, clean, and I think people respect boundaries and strictness sometimes. It's how it is. We don't necessarily want people out on the streets drinking alcohol at 4 a.m., right? And so this is not Las Vegas. This is Salt Lake County. So we're two different places. But like I said, we have great time here. It's a fun place. Yeah, the welcoming is, I think, where it's at for me.
I love that. And I think that is important for any county. You want to be welcoming and you want to
Yeah.
appreciate the differences and make everyone feel at home to the best of your ability. So I think that's a good way to use the resources. Now, shifting forward to the future, in 25 years, what are community residents going to be saying about Salt Lake County?
Well, I hope it's good things, because we will establish a lot of new things. So I think about this as new things are proposed in our county, and like, what is this going to look like in 20 something years? I want to be older. So am I going to like that still? I don't know. I might be going to the senior center, I might not be going to the hockey game. Who knows what I'm going to be doing, but we have those amenities there for everybody. So I think we just want to make sure we have a well balanced county, that we're providing the proper services. And, we might have to eliminate some things as our county grows and we discover that things are different in our community. Maybe we don't need as many senior centers one day. Maybe we don't need as many libraries one day. So we just have to assess it as we go. I mean, generations do change and everybody's on their phone, right? So not as many people go to library to get books, but I know they still do. And trends do come back around, right? It's like fashion, they come back. So people, get more into the books again. And so they utilize their libraries, and they have their kids. They want to take their kids. I utilized the library like crazy when I had kids. We'd go in there and we'd get 50 books at a time, take them home and read them all day. And we'd be back the next day to get 50 more. So, because that was our limit. So I really enjoyed the county amenities that we provide. Just providing those type of services for people, which are kind of, I guess, staples in a way. Like your library, everybody grew up with a library, right? You've been to a library or forced to go to a library at some point in time. So just making sure that that is there. Our rec centers, I mean, same. My kids enjoyed rec centers. We offer so many cool programs, and they're affordable for youth. There's soccer, there's golf, all kinds of swim lessons. I mean, my kids did swim lessons and soccer through the county program, and it was so fun. We have junior jazz, which is a big deal. It's kind of like the, junior jazz players. And so it's really just awesome programs. And I know, again, Smith Entertainment, they just put a practice facility in my city. They bought the mall out there, and they are putting a phenomenal, it's actually done now, but they're still working on some of the exterior, but it is phenomenal. Their practice facility for their team that's out there. And I know they're going to bring in more things for that area. And that mall has been kind of going downhill for a little while. They've been trying to revive it, but man, this was phenomenal that they did this. I was so excited when I learned they're putting the practice facility there. So it's really going to make a big difference in Sandy, and just having that there. And they're offering that kids will get to skate there as well. So it's not just a practice facility, it's a community facility, which is really cool. So I think just that they're here for years. They're going to be here for 30 years, I think is kind of, I mean, they'll be here longer, but that's kind of the time frame that they're predicting for everything that they're doing. And so we'll see. I'm sure it'll extend beyond that, because the jazz have been here forever. And but that's kind of the time frame from when they build, 30 years. I mean, things start getting old again, right? So what do you do? Do you rebuild it? What do you do? You've got to look at things differently then and see what your population looks like, what people are liking. And there's a lot of decisions to make. You've really got to research and look at how what things are bringing in at that point. And so I think I just think Salt Lake County, we're doing such great things. I can't even say enough. So I'm excited to be on the council at this time, and I just feel like everything that we're doing is really providing the best opportunities for our residents. So. And outside of the county, there's lots of benefits too. So it's not just Salt Lake County. I mean, our cities are doing great work, and just our job market here in Salt Lake County. I mean, we always are less than 3% unemployment. Um, Regardless of how our state changes. I mean, like I said, we're industrious people. We work hard, and um, we're Beehive stays. So we work. We're little worker bees.
Excuse me. I love it. I think that speaks to the that pioneer spirit that I spoke
It
about.
does. Yeah, it absolutely does. And I don't have pioneer relatives, but I know a lot of people that do. And I just respect what, the religion, my religion factors into that too. And so I just have a great respect for all that was done to establish, our state so well. And it's a big deal. And I know every state has been through their process, but pioneers really had a rough go and they endured. And they prospered. So it's good. Good.
Sure. Well, Dee, thank you. First and foremost, thank you so much from everybody here at Gentry. But before we close, anything that you feel like we missed out on? Any advice for maybe young people looking at a
Yeah.
career in public service?
Yeah, you bet. I think if you have an interest in public service, start going to your meetings. If you know, once you know that you want to run for something or you're even interested or maybe you're not sure and you just want to scope it out, start going to your meetings. The local level is what impacts us the most. The federal, yeah, but that's different. So the local is what's actually affecting you on a local level. And so that's where I would start. Start with your city council, start with your county councils, get to know your representatives, find out who they are, see if they align with you in any way, see what you have in common, see if they will listen to you because that matters and get to know them. And I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, we don't have a huge audience at our county council meetings unless usually there's an issue that someone cares about or they're passionate about. Then you might have people show up, right? But on just a regular day, not a lot of people. People just don't have time to pay attention. I get it. They're working and there's other things that they're doing. And that's what I did. I started going to my city council meetings. So I could find out what was going on. And I was really surprised of what I was learning. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm definitely running now. I want to make an impact here. I want to make a change. And so, and then when I ran too, I mean, I scoped it out. I did all my research, got everything I needed to. I didn't get everything, but I got a lot of information. I gathered a lot of information where I knew that I educated myself before going into it. So I knew what I was getting myself into. And I had the answers to things that people might ask me as a candidate. So I was ready to go. So you really have to educate yourself. You can't just go in and run and be like, well, I just want to run because I'm running. You really got to have some things in your heart that you're running on and things in your mind that you want to do. And so, and that's where it was for me. I just knew that after talking, and another thing, when you are a candidate, you're going to go outdoor knocking. It's just part of it. And so if you're not comfortable talking to people, don't go into it. You got to talk, you got to collaborate, you got to network. And that's the part I love about this because I meet so many cool people. I really do. And it's probably one of the funnest parts of my job. And even campaigning, knocking doors, I could knock doors all day because people are nice. No, I can't say all communities are probably this nice, but I mean, I talk to people at their door. They can't believe I'm at their door. They're like, "You're at my door," and it's like, "Yeah, I'm here to learn about what you want, what's going on in your neighborhood. What can I do to help you?" And they'll just open up and tell me. So it's a great conversation, and I really like that. But that's my advice. Just get involved. Find a board. Even we have boards through Salt Lake County and all the cities. I'm sure all your municipalities have boards that you could serve on if you're interested in like a planning commission or whatever boards out there. We have library boards. We have boards that, focus on our mountains. So we have all kinds of boards. So get involved with a board and then, kind of filter it out and see if that's something that you're liking. That would definitely give you some insight. So I just know it's not enough for everybody. I've been told, people like, I don't know how you do what you do. And I'm like, well, I really like it. I'm like, there's other people who have jobs and I'm like, I don't know how you do what you do, because your job seems hard to me. So it just takes the right person doing the right thing at the right time. And I think when it's meant to be, like I said before, it all falls in place. So
I think that is incredible advice. I think people should just get involved and even
Yeah.
just bending the ear of your representative, your city, your county council, just to get to know them and see where they align. I think that
Yeah.
is definitely the first step. And the next step could be even joining a board. And then after that, maybe running for something. So I
Yeah.
definitely
And I will
appreciate.
say, don't let fear drive you from running, or losing drive you from running again. Because a lot of times people don't win on their first time, and there's a reason for that. It helps you get your name out there. You get established. You learn something from it. You take that experience and you move to the next level from there. So that's what it's about, and that was how it worked for me. Like I got my name out in my community. People knew who I was when I ran for county. I had educated myself even more, but people, they liked me, which was a good thing. So I was likable and that helped. And so it helped me to move on to where I was supposed to be, which is LA County.
Nice. Yeah. But if you don't succeed, try again.
Just back in. Yeah, you bet.
Well, for again, everyone here at Gentry, I'd like to say thank you, Dee. And then
Yeah.
to all the viewers, thank you so much for being here again, Dee Theodore, who is the chair of the Salt Lake County Council out in Utah, which is crazily one of my favorite states, even though I haven't been yet.
Well, we're
Just
going to get you out here at some point. So you
for
let me know.
sure. We're gonna change that one very soon.
All right.
So thank you
Awesome.
so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.